The wolf laying in its den is never as hungry as the wolf fighting to survive. A hungry wolf is bound to wage a harder battle. To all of you fighting battles alone, remember our ancestors in the harsh wilderness, surrounded by croaking ravens and howling wolves. To all of you going against the grain, battling the naysayers, better fight and fall than to live without hope. You might learn to survive and not let your worries and hopelessness stand in your way. Be mighty and keep strong. Be mighty and keep strong. The long road is hard, but go you must. For he who has traveled far and endure well is led to the greatest end of the journey. Be mighty and keep going. Be mighty and keep going. It will be worth it in the end. And if you stand by your own trial and not by what others say, the right folk and kin will show up in your life. You won't be a lone wolf forever. So don't look back. Not every cloud which darkens the day brings rain. Look forward to the bright destination of your chosen path. It doesn't matter if you have to walk alone for a while. It is much better to walk alone in the right direction than be the one who waits to be taken like a fox from a trap. Stay strong. Your destiny is in your hands. Get out there and hunt it down.
Get inspired.
Alright. We are here. Yo, people. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little tidbit, while I was getting some stuff set up. Trying to find the game here. Give me a minute. Oh, I don't have it in here, that's why. I have it on Steam. Yeah, so we are gonna begin. Just as soon as I get the game loaded up. Oh, Steam has it coded in differently. Even though, so it's interesting that even though this game starts with a T in Steam Library, it's code put next to Dwarves. I don't know. I don't ask these questions anymore. Operations. There we go. And there we go. We are here. Let me put my camera a little smaller, as it looks huge. There we go. We'll keep subtitle or the stuff off just while subtitles are going. Let's load. Okay, so I think this is our 1914. I don't remember. I guess this would be 10. Yeah, so this is a little bit after. Okay. Confirm. Alright, and we are going to start up the dwarves yet again. Got my coffee. Well, the end of my coffee, sadly. I'll make another cup probably after this. And we are going to continue on with this. Rejected Potential isn't going on today, but we will have it next Sunday, just as a heads up. Look out on YouTube for a future or an episode and the starting of the founding portions of my races. I'll be doing some of that stuff coming up. Hopefully, once I finish all this up, the founding stuff will probably start out not this week, but maybe next week. But I'm gonna be doing a video this afternoon for Rejected Potential and Grim Legacy, so.
The High King's advisor has the bill.
Oh, wait. Oh, well,
Vracus, who made the dwarves of stone, has himself been hewn from stone by these self-same dwarves. A masterly piece of work, like one of which only the masons of the Secondlings can still accomplish today.
Ow. Alright.
Even for a dwarf, High King Gundrabur is very old. His long white beard suggests 500 or more cycles.
Oh my
He
god.
seems weak, but when you talk to him, you feel an aura of grandeur.
He is okay. Well, I guess there's nothing. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. That's how I move. I'm like trying to hit WASD, and it's just not working. Oh, there we go. Get my jeans into place, cause they're gonna riding up on all day. But yeah. Oh yeah, how am I sounding in comparison? Alright, so it looks like I'm a little louder. Let me turn my mic down a tad. Let me know if I am loud or loud enough. I think I've got everything turned up. Alright. You guys are assholes.
Tungdil!
The High King wants to set me up as a rival.
The High King and his advisor don't know where I come from either. But they only want to use me to delay Gandagar's coronation and ultimately prevent war with the elves.
Whatever happens, we will stand by your side, Scholar.
What the hell?
You're not sure whether the moral support of your friends will be much use in a contest with Gandagar,
There we go.
but it feels good not having to go through the whole thing on your own.
Well, yeah, no
I
kidding.
think I'll continue to look around.
Yeah.
Don't get lost. And tonight, we will finally drink a lovely dark ale in the glowing anvil.
There we go. Alright, what's this way? Well, looks like we're not going that way. Obviously. What's over here then? Alright, we'll go this way. And we're not going this way either. Okay. I guess we're going here. Could've just said that, you know, hey, go down this way, take a left. I love coffee. I'm trying to get my... There we go.
Andakai, what is it?
It's hard to get comfortable.
I came to return these books to you, Tungdil. Luckily, I was
Muscle-bound
able to
woman.
make sense of most of it.
You observed how the Mager took time to study the books during your escape.
Okay.
They are records from the Outer Lands. They tell of demonic beings from Barren Ground who can take possession of humans and invest them with great power.
Kind of like
Immortality,
Patron.
for example?
The Mager nods seriously.
They speak of an axe forged by the Undergrounders called Keenfire. It is said to have the power to cut through the flesh and bone of the living and completely destroy the demonic spirit deep within their soul.
Okay. Do you believe that the demon is
So
possessed
you think
of
a demon from
Newton?
the Outer Lands has taken possession of Newdin?
He looked very different when I encountered him in Parista, and he rose from the dead even though you cut off his head. That can't be explained purely through the power of the perished land.
That's
He
fair.
wanted to prevent these books from falling into our hands. That would only make sense if Keenfire had the power to defeat him.
Alright. Do you know anything about the Outer Lands and these
Do you know
undergroundlings?
these Undergrounders?
Maybe the Thirdlings?
I've never heard of the Undergrounders, but I've been to the Outer Lands before.
It must be terrible. The hordes of Tion have marched from there against our strongholds for thousands of years.
It's not as bad as you think. It is certainly safer than a land in which a magus possessed by a demon is on the loose.
That's fair. Keenfire, it could be our
Where is this
best chance.
Keenfire?
I don't know if this weapon was ever forged. It requires rare materials and masterful craftsmanship. The purest, hardest steel, stone barbs decorated with runes, a hilt of Sigurdaisy wood, inlays made of all the noble metals, the blades studded with diamonds, smithed in the hottest forge.
Damn.
We are dwarves. We have the most talented craftsmen.
Yep.
And you have the Sigurdaisy wood. It is amongst the objects in your rucksack, which is fortunate as there are no more Sigurdaisies in Girdlegard. But even if you manage to forge the axe, it might all be just a fairy tale. It's too little to wager our lives on.
I mean, it's worth a shot. I could go and
We can
find
get
it.
all the missing materials, as well as a gem cutter, here in the stronghold. After all, Gandagar and his fourthlings are here. A stonemason from the secondlings, and I can smith.
The Mager looks at you thoughtfully, and for a short time it seems as though your enthusiasm is rubbing off on her. But then she says,
I wish you good luck, Tungdil.
Oh.
You still want to leave Girdlegard, but what will happen to your realm and all the other realms?
I admire your optimism, my friend, but it isn't wise to stand in the way of a rolling stone. I don't wish to give up my realm, but I would only be prolonging the suffering unnecessarily.
But
you don't want to let the last Mager in Girdlegard go. Unfortunately, you can't think of anything that could cause her to stay.
Many thanks, Honourable Mager, for
Yeah,
all that you have done.
that's a fair point. Damn, look at those muscles. Her shoulders alone, man. She works out hard. What we got?
A variety of cheeses, pickled cave mushrooms, toasted vault moss, and some smoked sausage. Mmm.
The intense smell of the cheese makes your mouth begin to water.
I mean, I'm all for... Alright. What do we got? Look at the books.
Garen found an answer to the threat. Keenfire. No matter how difficult it is to forge it, we must do it.
Wait, so it's
We
not
don't
an
know
artifact,
of anything
okay.
else that could injure a demon.
Alright, well, let's just go to bed.
You are looking forward to the first proper bed for weeks.
Wait, continue to look around. Wait, do I have to go and have a drink with, what's his name? Let's see if we can. Alright. Let my laptop go down and charge until it dies. Okay. Let's see. Either I'm gonna go and do this and this was pointless, or this is what I was supposed to do to go have a drink with him. Alright.
Ah!
Has
Andikai
deciphered books,
deciphered
yeah.
what was written in the books that Garen wanted to send to Turga the Fairfaced. They tell of a demonic threat from the Outer Lands and how it can be stopped. Nudin cannot be killed by normal weapons, but Undergrounders have developed a weapon that might be able to do it. Keenfire.
Undergrounders? What's that supposed to mean?
Us.
You shrug your shoulders.
Maybe there are dwarves in the Outlands too. Either way, they have described how this magical weapon can be made.
If it's got anything to do with magic, the weapon cannot be dwarfish. We shouldn't go anywhere near it.
Damn it.
Nudin fears the books. I believe that Keenfire is our best chance of stopping him.
There you go.
I think I'll continue to look around.
Don't get lost.
Alright, so... Well, if they're not gonna have me doing anything, then I am just gonna go back to our room and pass out. Now that we've spoken to them. Because I don't think the king's gonna care. I mean, I think that if we can, we're gonna try and push for the task to make Keenfire. I guess that makes sense. Alright.
You are looking forward.
Lie down.
You
to sleep.
undress and lie down. Before you know it, your eyes close and you fall asleep.
There we go. Pass out, man.
When your new armor is brought to you the next morning, you can hardly believe your eyes. However, as a smith, you can't stand the fact that you haven't contributed anything to it, and decide to add some inlays.
Okay. Ooh. Hello?
Even one who wears the armour of a prince can still be a farrier underneath it, don't you think, Tungdil Bolafar?
Just like a snake in elegant clothing is still
Just
a snake?
like a snake in elegant clothing is still a snake.
Ignoring your question, Bisleypur eyes you very exactly before he speaks.
So, you want to be one of our kingdom? A foundling brought up by a wizard? One wouldn't think it possible.
Well, I mean...
And I don't think it possible either. There is no proof of your origin, and Gandagar's the council on his side. Why don't you spare yourself the disgrace and just not turn up in front of the council? Put your scheme to bed, and we will take you into our kingdom. We will give you everything you need your whole life long. In exchange, you support Gandagard instead of challenging him.
Proof, just like your
Proof?
letter for the
Oh,
elves.
you mean like your letter that has been found after 1,000 cycles and makes the elves responsible for the fall of the fifthlings?
Yeah, there you go.
It is no secret that the elves are deceitful. And what could possibly be more suited to get one over on us than letting the perished land in and presenting us as the scapegoat?
The elves have been displaced by the perished land and are now almost eradicated.
Yep.
I said they are deceitful, not wise.
That's a fair point. And what if I don't take your suggestion?
And what if I don't withdraw my candidacy?
You wish to stand against your own king? A stray dwarf offending a deserving leader such as Gandagar through his claim? No one in the Brown Range will like that. Prepare yourself for life as an outsider among the Fourthlings.
What's new? Okay, we have nothing more to talk
You
about.
have had enough of this dwarf. He makes you feel uneasy, or worse still.
Yeah.
Get out!
A humanized bastard will not issue me orders.
Oh.
Know your place, false dwarf.
Huh. I like that. Now we've got a mark. Well worth it. Oof, God, that's some nasty scarring.
The armor has been made by a master. Over the chainmail is steel plate, alloyed with gold in many places, which certainly appeals to you. There are also several decorative elements made of stone to honor its origin in the kingdom of the best stonemasons.
Nice.
You had just finished setting the last inlay, the seal of Lot Yonan, who brought you up and is gone, when Bislipper interrupted you.
Alright, let's put on that armor.
Not only is it worthy of a king and fits me like a glove, but it should also offer me additional protection in battle.
That'll help. Alright. Look at the ball
Some of the gold has left a coin-sized mark on the back of your hand. It hurts, but you like the idea that a bit of the metal you love is now part of you.
Alright, anything else to look at in here? Look at your rook stack, yeah.
Sigurdaisy wood. Very rare. I guess Lot Yonan wanted it to examine or experiment with.
Probably to test it out. Alright. Let's make your speech to the assembly. Here we go. Let's do what we came here to do. Make this speech.
That is why I, too, lodge a claim to the throne and why I think I am the more capable heir.
Ooh.
Thank you for your speech, Tungdil Bolafar. The council may now ask questions.
Oh. Yeah, let's call up this guy.
Bislipper?
He's an asshole.
Nothing you say will convince anyone here. You didn't grow up amongst us, and no one knows if you really are a Fourthling. I do not believe there has ever been a more unworthy heir to the throne of the High King. You are just wasting our time.
Does not say I bring new ideas. No. Shouldn't a dwarf's deed count more than his ancestry? I didn't know that you speak for everyone. Interesting.
Oh, I didn't know you were the spokesperson for everyone at this assembly, Bislipper. I had the impression that every dwarf is capable of forming their own opinion.
Absolutely.
Hear, hear!
He's right, you know.
Keep out of it, Bislipper.
Alright, let's call upon
Yes, the dwarf from the Secondling Kingdom over there.
You say that a war against the elves would be madness. But how can such a young dwarf as you judge that? You've hardly seen anything of the world, has he?
Oh. If we attack the elves, we are no better than they are. It is our duty to protect Gilligard, including those. We'd lose the war against it. No, we wouldn't lose it. We are no better than the Alfar. That's not bad. But dwarves are duty bound.
It is true. There is much that I only know from books. But it is written that it is our duty to defend and protect Girdlegard, and that includes the elves. And don't the elves have the same enemy as we do? They could stand by us in battle. Why should we play into the hands of the enemy by attacking them rather than working against the enemy together?
Yeah, there we go.
That is true.
He's right.
The words of a clever warrior.
Yep.
But the pointy ears hate us, and we hate them too.
Well, that's fair.
What is it they say again? My enemy's enemy is my friend.
Call upon the fourthlings. Let's see what
Yes?
we got.
Your question?
Just so I get this right, you want to forge a weapon that is described in a book of fairy tales from the perished land to kill a demon that none of us has ever seen?
I have most definitely seen it. Goimgar, Yellow Belly, Shimmerbeard.
The fact is, our problems won't solve themselves. The dwarves must act. I the mad guy translated the text and thinks we might be able to kill the demon with this. I can't prove that it's not it is a solution, but it is our own. The fact that our problems won't solve themselves.
We have seen the perished land with our own eyes, and its master Nodon could not be killed.
Yep, there we go.
Many have died for the books in which it is written how keen fire can be made. And the Magus did all he could to get his hands on the two hearths made of Sigurd Daisy wood. Those are the facts, whether you like them or not. These problems won't solve themselves, so I ask you, is it the Dwarven way to step aside and do nothing, or is it our way to act?
There we go.
To act!
We don't hide away.
If the humans won't stop the perished land, then we will.
There you go.
We shouldn't get drawn in.
Oh,
Let's show the Magus the strength of the dwarves.
there we go. Yeah.
I have heard enough.
Silver tongue.
The council
nice.
has heard the words of both candidates and must now make its decision. Those of you who wish to see Tungdil Bolafar, the returning son from the Fourthling Kingdom, as my successor, raise your axe.
It's hard to see because it's so dark.
And those who wish to see Gandagar Silverbeard from the Silverbeards, the king of the Fourthlings, as my successor.
Looks to be some that voted twice.
It's close, but Gandagar has received more votes.
Damn.
Very good.
Excellent.
Here's to Gandagar!
Long live our new High King!
However, the result was not unanimous, and as acting High King, I avail myself of my right to demand a contest between the aspirants.
Oh.
What is this?
But he won the ballot.
It's the rules. The High King has the right to do so.
There we go.
Respect!
Let's get
He is
this.
still the High King.
Yep.
Silence!
You have heard the High King's command. Write down your challenge for the aspirants.
Okay. I am way too young to be a king, a high king. Like a normal
Are
king
you
maybe,
ready?
but high king of
The
all
one that
dwarves.
masters this task first will become the High King. It is an expedition. The trial is to lead a group to forge the axe Keenfire in the Grey Range, which can then be used to fight against the Magus Nodon.
An
Alright.
expedition into the perished land?
There we go.
Ha ha! Brilliant!
Yep.
You
Let's
can't
prove
be
ourselves.
serious.
This is how we prove ourselves as dwarves.
That's what I call a worthy challenge, don't you think?
I call it luck, Scholar. Of all the challenges, Bislapur draws this one. Ha ha ha.
Yes. Luck.
Yeah, it's luck, 100% luck. Totally. Oh my god. Hit all player. Okay.
But, my king, don't demand this of me. Why me, of all people?
You are one of my best gem cutters, and I promise to support him. It should be a fair contest. Or should I break my word just because of you?
Ooh.
But...
Yellow
You
belly.
will go, Goimgar Shimmerbeard. Do not put us to shame. Follow Tungdil's instructions. Go! and come back in good health.
And with that, our group is complete.
Who have you chosen as Mason?
Oh, what the hell? Oh my god, look at his hammer.
Day, gentlemen.
Look at his hammer.
Davragar? The old drunkard?
Holy hell.
Old drunkard? He assured me he's the best stonemason here. The High King himself sent him.
Well, I said I was precisely the stonemason you need. I didn't exactly say I was sent by the High King.
Oops.
You let yourself be tricked by a drunkard.
I don't want him with us.
Rest assured, Boindil, I too could imagine better company. But Tungdil gave me his word.
Well, there we go.
I gave you my word. And as long as you are capable of doing the stonework needed for Keenfire, you are welcome. Girdleguard is at stake here.
There we go.
I wish you no ill fortune, Tungdil, but also no good fortune. The throne belongs to me, and through my victory, Vracus will show the clans.
Alright, let's see. Oh, wait. What the hell? He's missing an arm.
The task is clear to the contenders.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The first to forge Keenfire and bring it back here has proven his abilities and will be our new High King to lead us in battle against Nod On.
Got it.
It will take months to complete the task. The journey to the Fiflings alone is a long and dangerous business.
Dangerous, yes, but not necessarily long. Do you know the old tunnel system that connects the Dwarven kingdoms?
Tunnels are all well and good, but why should we get there so much quicker under the ground than over it?
A knowing smile plays on the mouth of the advisor.
Well,
Mine shaft?
Pretty impressive what our forefathers achieved here, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks
The
like it needs
kingdoms
to be
all work together.
re-achieved.
If we do the same, nothing is impossible.
Here, here.
Can I can't hit escape. Why were you set on coming with us? I'm sorry for asking, but what went down with you and Boindale? You should stop drinking so much, it'll kill you one of these days. Why were you so set on coming with us?
I still don't understand why you tricked me and why you were so set on coming with us.
I have been the master of stone for more than 200 sun cycles. My work is admired all over Girdleguard. There has never been a better secondling mason than me.
Oh, wow.
But today, I don't want to be remembered as a drunkard with the chisel trembling in my hand, but as Bavragor Amethyst, undefeated master of stone who brought Keenfire to life. One last masterpiece.
Alright, what happened with you and Boindale?
I hope you understand me asking, but there seems to be bad blood between you and Boindale.
It's nothing that will endanger our mission. We've just always hated each other.
There's more behind it than commonplace hatred.
Bavragor doesn't react. His gaze is directed towards events that took place a long time ago.
Oh. I don't want to tell a dwarf this.
Really should rein in your drinking. We need you in good shape.
There are some who say I'm only the master of beer and not the master of stone anymore. But don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I can't forget, no matter how much I drink.
Oh.
I wonder why we haven't seen any sign of Gandagar recently. Perhaps they took a wrong turn somewhere. I'm sure we'll reach the Fifling Kingdom before them.
Okay. Oh wow, we have a lot of gold. Jesus.
We're not on the way to the Fiflings. We are on the way to the Firstlings. We're probably already under the land of the Custodian.
The Firstlings? Why?
The firstlings have been the best smiths in Girdlegard since the fiflings were wiped out. Only they can alloy Teonium and Palladium, which are actually mutually repellent. Anyway, we could use all the help we can get in the battle against Nodon, and...
Uh-oh. Alright, someone got added to my party. That's not good. Oh, okay, nice smack to the head. That's always great. Oh shit. Well, there goes that.
Damn. Goimgar.
What the hell? I need to turn up the brightness.
It burns! It's all your fault, you imposter. I was nearly killed, and for what?
Oh, shut
It is good that you are still alive. We need you for our mission.
So you can steal a throne that doesn't belong to you?
Hatred glints in the gem cutter's eyes, and for a moment, you think he's going to attack you with the courage of desperation.
Yeah, try it, buddy. Can I... Oh, God, I need to turn up the brightness. This is about saving Gurgen, not the title High King. You should control your poison tongue better. You're under my command. No,
I'm not interested in the title of High King. I am trying to save Girdlegard. Even if you don't believe anything else, you must believe this.
There we go.
I don't have to believe anything. I am here against my will. My own thoughts are my only remaining right.
That's fair.
Enough! Gather up all the materials we can still save. If we manage to reach the firstlings, we can get anything we're missing there. And it should be less than 200 miles to their stronghold.
Oh. Alright. Oh, it's so nice out today. If only it was warmer. It's so cold out today outside.
After you have gathered together the materials, you begin to search for a way out. And after a sweaty climb, you reach a door adorned with runes. From here, you enter a large cave with a waterfall covering a sun-drenched opening.
Okay.
You walk through the waterfall one after another, and after the unintentional shower, you find yourselves in Wayan, near the enchanted realm of Oramira. You find yourselves on a plateau, and the river which falls as a waterfall here hides the entrance to the underground rail network. It then flows past a forest, behind which you can see a wall and tiled roofs. You check the map.
That must be Mithridadia. We'll go through the forest to the city and see if we can refresh our supplies and buy some ponies.
Alright, and we leveled up. There we go. Not too bad. Everyone's level 7 to 8. Do go into settings, video. Quality's fine. It's just where is the? Oh, there is no. Okay, so it's just gonna be dark. All right, whatever. Let's go through. Inventory. Oh no, loading. Give it a sec. There we go. Okay, so we have some gems and stuff like that. We have the book still. Okay. Now, I assume you're just terrible. Yeah, it looks like you really are. Disagreeable, passive, nobody likes... Okay. What does it say? He automatically attracts enemies? Oh, gods. Alright, we've got decent relations. Alright, looks good. Alright, over here.
Boindale strikes up song during your hike. A short while later, Bavrigor joins in. But rather than actually singing along, he tries to outdo Boindale with his own songs. When he finally strikes up a love song, Boindale becomes absolutely livid. You take the stonemason to one side and ask him if he's doing it on purpose.
Of course I'm doing it on purpose. I'm gonna make him suffer the whole journey.
Jesus.
Can't go on like this. We can't fight amongst ourselves and save Girdlegard.
You take a short break before you dare breach the roots of the problem.
It's to do with a woman, right?
Yep.
Not in the way you might think. Smeralda was my sister. A young thing of only 40 cycles.
Bavrigor takes a large swig of his liquor before he continues.
She was almost as belligerent as Boindle, and she got it into a blockhead to stand by him in battle. A bad decision.
You can see the pain he is suffering in his eyes.
Okay.
You place a hand on his shoulder and put him under no pressure to carry on.
Makes more sense now.
The constant bickering between Boindil and Bavragor distracts you.
Okay.
Goimgar hears the clanking of armor first.
Something's coming!
Before you know it, the orcs are charging towards you over a hillside.
Oh, good. That's what we needed. Orcs. Let us kill the oinkers. We must destroy them. Alright, we're all set, but you need something. I'll give you that, because I think reducing the okay, you know what, I'll do that instead. Oh good. And we're all injured, so that's fantastic. Alright, here we go, boys.
What is it?
Here, get over here.
Say goodbye forever!
Alright.
Huh?
Let us... Oh, yeah, it's...
Yeah!
There we go. Oh my god, that's a lot of orcs. Alright.
And again! Creature! Yes, yes! Too easy!
Let's start cutting them down.
I'm not that quick! Vile creature! Huh?
Oh good. You know, our favorite enemy is back. Alright.
Say goodbye forever! With pleasure!
Alright, what skills do you have? There we go.
Too much for you, I didn't hit you very hard! What now?
Cut them all down.
Yes, yes! So! And again!
Alright.
Yeah! Who's next?
There we
Too
go.
easy! Yeah! Bow and dog! End it! Give me a hand! Ow!
There we go.
Hey, over here! Kill! What is it?
Okay, let's kill a few of you. Come on.
Ow! Hey! And again! He hardly put up a fight! I didn't hit you very hard! Ha ha!
Let's cut him down to size.
Come here, you!
Yeah, he's hurting bad, so...
At once! Kill!
There we go.
Understood.
That one's
And
down.
again.
That
For
one's
breakfast.
down. Get over here. Jesus, man.
Of course! Kill!
Alright, yeah, you need to...
Another one bites the next!
Oh, damn
Yes.
it. Alright.
Huh? Of course!
Let's get out of here. Oh, gods.
Forever! He hardly put up a fight!
Kill him.
Bad luck for you!
Can we kill him?
Now? Come here, you!
Cut him down, boys. Push through.
Out of my way! For breakfast!
There we go, boys. Alright.
Bad luck for you! Yes, yes! So! On my way!
Didn't mean to
Yes.
just...
At once! Attack!
Get over there.
Too much for you, was I? On my way.
Come, will you move?
Understood.
Jesus.
Yeah! No! Too soon!
God damn it. They wouldn't fucking move. Jeez, no. You would just move. Alright, grants 1 extra point every second during battle. That's fine. Deals a bit damage for a while. I'm gonna give this to you, actually. And you got that. Alright. It annoys me that we legitimately all have injuries, and we're just gonna have to shove through. Boindale, you're too fast.
On my way! Of course!
Push through the orcs. Move. Move now.
Yes?
Okay.
On
Get
my
up
way.
there.
I didn't hit you very hard.
Where are the others?
Yes.
Okay, you're up here. You're up here.
Huh? End it!
Yeah. Too easy. Who's next? Of course.
Let's cut down this ogre. Come on.
Yes, yes, soon! I'm not that quick!
Come on.
Yes, yes, soon!
Get over here. Kill him. Alright.
Of course!
Let's get this guy down before there's more.
I'm not that quick!
Come on.
Huh? On my way. I didn't hit you very
There
hard.
we go. Alright, we're good. Cheesing it like no other. God damn.
Ah, that was refreshing. Hey, here comes some more.
Oh, good.
3, 4, 5, 5 or 6.
5 or 6? Oh, phew. He means 5 or 600.
Oh.
Goimgar turns white as a sheet.
Oh, good.
That's too many. To the city. Come on.
Nice. Good level up on him. Good level up. Alright. Wait, reset. Oh, he just gets that. Okay. Ooh, a finely carved ivory figurine. That's great.
You
Fantastic.
flee towards Mifidania, with Goimgar out ahead. The orcs at his back seem to have mobilized unimagined powers in him, and he reaches the gate first, hammering manically against it. He says something and scurries through a small gateway that has been opened to him. Moments later, you also reach the gate.
Get in, quickly!
You push your way through the gate as the first orc arrows slam into the wood next to you.
Alright. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back.
The other dwarf said we should bolt the gate behind him, but we could use all the help we can get when the orcs come.
That treacherous sissy, where is he?
Boendal and I will look for him. Boindeal and Bavragor, help the city guards in any way you can.
You were certain the two of them wouldn't be much help in the search for Goimgar.
Good thing there wasn't a fight going on. That would have sucked. Oh man. Okay. Let's figure out what's going on. Okay, since I missed it, and it looks like by a long shot, we're gonna have to figure out what are we supposed to be doing? Okay, what's this? 'Cause that looks like where people are going. Look at the books.
In the past, travelling showmen regularly put up tents like this in front of Lot Yonan's vaults to draw a little money from the pockets of the servants and the famuli, with plays, vocal performances, and all kinds of fun.
I just chewed on a coffee bean. Ugh.
Weyon is well known for its love of the written word. Some of the scripts on offer are known to you from Lot Yonan's library.
Huh. Alright, let's go over here and talk to Trader.
I am glad that the children of Vrachus are here. What can I do for you, sir?
The man tries to give off an air of normality, but he occasionally glances nervously over to the city wall.
Oh, what can you tell me
This
about
is the
the city?
biggest human city I've ever seen, after Parista.
You haven't chosen a very good time to take a look at Mifadania, sir, and I don't just mean because of the orcs outside our gates. The winter is only just now retreating into the mountains.
Oh, okay.
In a couple of weeks, it will be spring, and the city will burst into bloom.
The man glances at the city wall once again.
At least, I hope it will.
I feel that, yeah. Alright. Show me what you have on offer.
Have you heard any news from other lands?
Nodon is rampaging through the land with his orcs and the Alpha. The Magi are all dead, and no one has heard any more of the host that moved against Porista. These are dark times, but I think it's important that we don't despair. We must trust in the gods.
There we go.
We have to.
Yep.
You would have liked to have told the trader that, as well as trusting in the gods, he should also wish you and your companions luck. But that would have just led to more questions.
Yes, it would have. It's, yeah. Show me what you got on offer. So I will sell that. No reason to keep it. Again, something I can sell. We don't need... Oh, we actually do need food. How much is that? 410? Yeah, I'll take that. Oh, that would be nice to get. Oh my god, look at that large healing potion. Alright. 65%, increase the damage auto attacks by 75%. Increase the damage of special attacks. Grants 1 extra action point every 3 seconds. Isn't that what this does? Oh, that's better. So basically I can upgrade all my gear here. 750 gold. How much is this worth? Oh, okay. Then yeah, alright. Nope. Let's sell our old one. I don't really use that, so we're gonna sell that. You have more stuff, okay. Really don't use that much. We do use this, but I don't think that's actually of value to me. That kinda is. Auto attacks. That would be really useful, actually. Let's sell that. Oh wait, nope. Sorry. Sell that. I mean. And then I think we're good for right now. Alright.
Farewell.
Can I go into my inventory? Okay, so for you, let's get that on you. I'm actually gonna switch you over to that, and then I'm gonna give you this. Okay, so trader. Look at the fish and seafood. Okay, well, let's see what they got.
Weyern has many huge lakes and is rich in a variety of fish and seafood.
Nice.
As the mountains of the dwarves are far away from these large lakes, most of the fish are not part of their normal diet.
Interesting. Okay. Let's go up here. Yo.
So, have you found the little coward? He must be somewhere in the city. He's too scared to leave it.
Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking for, what's his name? Alright, let's head over here. Look at the obelisk. Okay, what's in the obelisk?
You only know of obelisks from books, and you didn't expect to see one
people
here.
Who are watching. Let's
the
see.
inscription seems to you to be of southern origin.
Welcome, monster. How you doing, man? You just silently sitting in the background for today? And then we've also got another viewer who's chilling out. I don't know who that is, but they're not logged in. Alright, I assume I can't go in there. Let's go find our gem cutter and see if I can figure out where he went. Wait, why am I going over there?
After having seen the kingdom of the Secondlings, even this impressive human city is somehow rather disappointing. The only thing that attracts your attention are the oil lamps that line the street. Only a trading city could afford something like that.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's accurate. Alright, let's see. Anything over here that looks interesting? Or of interest? No, it looks like the gem cutter's not over here either. God damn it, where'd he go? Alright, let's see. Maybe he's past these little areas. He's probably back in here or something like that. Let's see. Where is this little gem cutter? Oh, I can't go past this. Okay, well that's interesting. That sucks. Yeah, that's the farthest it will let me go. Okay. Well, let's see if we can find him somewhere then, I guess along the walls. I mean, I don't see him over here. Let's try up here. Nope. Okay. Oh, there we go. Look at the side gate? Sure, why not? Let's look at this.
All of the gates are bolted shut.
It's a wall.
The city seems to be secure, at least for the moment.
Congrats, it's a flippin' wall. Where did this guy end up? I mean, okay, I see him. Come on. Can you move, sir? Sir, please move. Out of my way. There we go.
Cometh, dear spectators, cometh and see. Let the Theatre Curiosum, with its star actor, the fabulous Rodario, the mysterious Nomora, and the genius Magister Technicus Fergus, carry you off to another world.
We've got another
now
Magus?
See and
oh
hear,
my God.
dear spectators,
Look at this guy.
the truth about Nudin the Knowledge Lusty, who disposed of the other Magi in a most horrifying way and plunged Girdlegard into disaster. Girdlegard, it will be mine.
Hell? That's cool.
Lock Yonan?
What the hell? Wait. What the fuck? Okay, let's do
You
this.
murdered Frala and the others.
To your horror, you realize that you can no longer talk.
Oh, good.
You feel
I
a
can't
lump in your
talk.
throat, and
That's
your eyes
fantastic.
begin to burn as
Oh.
images of the vaults and Cyntharas appear in front of you.
You
I
bastard.
see that my first strike really hit you, groundling.
Oh, maybe that's why they call me a
how
groundling, is
they
because we're an
screamed.
undergrounder from the
If only you had been there to help them.
Parish lands. God, I can't talk today. Give me
What do
back
you
my
want with
rucksack.
my rucksack? If you're looking for provisions, you could have just asked me nicely.
That's true.
I'm not interested in what's in the rucksack. I only know that the Lord of the Perished Land wants it.
The Lord?
So he will have
Is that
it.
the demon?
Your master doesn't tell you much by the sounds of it. Either he doesn't trust you, or he's in the habit of not talking about his business with servants.
You feel the blade cutting into your skin, and you take it as a sign of a small
Hey,
victory.
little servant. Let's go. Nothing better than a serf.
This way! Was that an elf?
If we're quick, we'll get that long ear yet.
No, he's gone.
Alarm! The orcs are attacking!
Oh, good.
Come,
That's
we must
what we
defend
need.
the walls.
Why do we need to defend the walls? This isn't Lord of the Rings. Okay, you have your stuff, you got yours, okay. Destroy all the ladders, okay. Get up there. Get up there, boys. Don't let oh my god, really? Okay, so we can't all get up here? Can you
what bad luck
get up here?
Come here, you!
Come on. It'd be nice if they would auto attack. But they won't, so we're gonna have to come over here. Come here. Come on, come on, come on, go. Get over there.
Attack!
Get those ladders. Get that
End
ladder.
it.
And you
why not?
help out over here.
Yes?
Alright, throwing
What is
down.
it?
Nope. God. I hate that. I'm so not used to that.
Yeah!
Let's do that. There we go. We got that down.
And what now?
Alright.
Huzzah!
Got that ladder down. I need to get through. Okay. Can we destroy that ladder, please? Okay. Why aren't you up here? Get up here, buddy.
Taste my
And
hammer!
go over there. Start helping out. Push through, boys.
Attack! I didn't hit you very hard. End it.
Let's get up here and attack this
For
ladder.
breakfast. Yeah.
There we go. We got
End
the
it.
ladder. Okay,
What
Boindale,
is it?
you're the best at moving quickly,
Who's
buddy.
next?
So there we go.
Yes. So too easy.
Let's start upping your damage for a second while we get these orcs in.
I'm with you.
We've got to get that ladder. Go.
I'm with you.
There we go. Nope, this one. Kill it.
Hit you very hard.
Yeah, kill these orcs, please. Alright, we've got the orcs down.
Quick. Pow! Another one bites the dust.
Nope,
Too
don't do
easy.
that. Get up here.
For breakfast.
Where is our... Oh, he's way back here.
Why not? Let's go.
There we go. Push him
Prepare
down.
yourself.
Push him through, boys.
Of course.
Get over here and help out Boindale. Actually, you know what? There's yours.
Kill. Of course.
Kill him. Boom. That's what I like to see. Alright. Kill enough orcs and we're good.
Very good. We're able to stop them.
Although this is not very easy, so to be fair.
Simple as.
You wish it weren't so. But it is clear to you now that the city can no longer be saved.
Yes,
the
it
side
can.
gate. It's our
Let's
only
hold
chance.
the gates. No.
Who's next?
Alright, where are we going? Okay, sweet. There we go. So we gotta get down there. Push him out of the way, boys. Alright, get over here.
What is it?
We're all four in the exits. There we go. Clear it. Nope. I meant over here, boys. Let's get it going. Nope. Boindale.
And what now?
No,
Yes?
you. Get down here. Don't do that. Whatever you're doing, don't do that. Wait, where's the last guy? Oh, he's over here. Go over here. There we go. Okay, we're at the gate. There mustn't be any enemies at the exit. There is no enemies at the exit. What are they talking about? What enemies are they talking about? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna assume it's these guys up here. No, go down there. You get back down here. I only need him up here. Come on. He's the fastest. Oh my god. Alright, there we go. Alright, that worked somehow. No, know why. No idea.
It's locked.
But thank you for not a scratch.
We have to open it somehow. Perhaps we can be of service, gentlemen.
Step aside.
There's just orcs everywhere killing people.
Certainly not. We are artists.
Oh.
People with extraordinary talents. Say, friends, as you clearly mean to leave Mifadania too, would you have anything against us joining you?
No, not at all. I know you. You're the fabulous, Rodario.
Oh, an admirer of my skills? Who would have thought it? I am indeed the one and only fabulous Rodario.
There's just orcs
This
growling
worthy
everywhere in the
gentleman
background.
Here is Fergus, the best Magister Technicus since human thought. And last but not least, the enchanting Namora,
Can
whose
we,
beauty makes the mayor's roses wither in envy.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should discuss the rest when we are out of this mess.
Sounds like a good idea, buddy. Why do you want to join us?
We have a long and dangerous journey ahead of us.
Yeah,
I
not
don't
a good
think
idea.
You really want to join us.
An epic and dangerous journey? That sounds like an adventure. And anyway, I have already seen that you know how to handle those weapons of yours.
Yeah.
In these dangerous times, a big travel group offers the best protection, don't you think?
Sure.
I don't know.
The orcs are still surging through the gate
Yeah,
and over
can
the
you
wall.
hear the growling?
You decide that this isn't the right time for discussions.
All right then, let's go.
Let's get out of here. We'll be safe with the firstlings.
Sure.
The firstlings. The splendor of their halls is said to be unrivaled. And I have heard they have fascinating contraptions, Fergus, that are almost reminiscent of magic.
Okay.
It's open, let's go.
There we go. That's what matters. Can we save the discussion and happy thoughts for after the, death and destruction here? Jesus. Alright, we got some level ups. Let's see. Don't know you, so I don't really care. Interesting. Oh, and we found another gold ring and a lot of gold. Okay. Well, it looks like there's a thing there. I guess we'll go south.
In the evening, after your escape from Mifadania, you recover from your exertions around a campfire. Goimgar withdraws to a solitary corner. Bavragor devotes himself to his alcohol.
Ugh.
And the twins get their smelly dwarf cheese out. Namora and Fergus exchange hugs and kisses on the other side of the fire, while Rodario sits next to you.
Ah, a journey with real dwarves to the stronghold of the firstlings. I'm sure I can write that into my new piece.
Sure, why not, buddy? There's now a day's journey between us and the orcs. What do you plan to do? Okay, let's try the first one.
We're far enough away from Mifadania. Perhaps we should part ways
Call it
tomorrow
even.
morning.
Rodario jumps up and begins to gesticulate ostentatiously.
I think you have underestimated us. Let me introduce myself and my colleagues once more.
Oh, please don't.
I am the Fabulous.
Oh,
We
shut up.
don't have time to look after a pack of jesters.
Rodario seems offended for a moment, but then he grins, turns away from the group, and raises his right arm. A jet of flame shoots out of his sleeve. The dwarves are startled and amazed by the brief spectacle.
And what do you say now, critical Mr. Dwarf?
You're a Magus. I don't particularly like them either.
Oof.
At the Curiosum, magic is my area of responsibility. There is a tube under his arm with a flint and a bag full of Lycopediella seeds. When he firmly presses the bag, the flint sprays sparks and the seeds shoot out. And there you have it. Magic fire.
I mean, that's a useful talent.
Masterly work, Fergus.
The Magister Technicus shows his appreciation with a nod of his head.
If they all have tricks like this up their sleeves, well, they might not be such a burden after all, Tungdil.
Okay. How many provisions do you have, or do you
How
have
are you
with
doing
you?
for provisions? We don't have enough.
We are happy to share what we have. It isn't very much, though. We had to leave most of it behind.
Good thing I bought all those provisions.
Food is sure to be a problem on our journey. Winter's only just beginning to leave Wayan, and people will be keeping a tight grip on the stocks they do have because of the orc attacks.
That's so true.
We have to be frugal and organize as much food as we can. It wouldn't be much of a heroic story if we starved on the way to the firstlings.
That's true. All right. We're very impressive.
I must congratulate you on your skills.
Yeah.
Find it hard to believe that it's not achieved by magic.
Yeah, no kidding.
Aha, thank you, but I assure you it has nothing to do with magic. Just alchemy and accomplished acting. We leave the sorcery to the Magi.
Don't mention them. There's no love lost on Andakai and her walking iron tower.
You've met Andakai the Tempestuous? That is unbelievable. How was she?
She ran away to the outer lands. A damn disgrace.
She had her reasons, and at least she put us on this track.
Adakai had her reasons to leave us.
I mean, she did her
She'd
job.
already fought against Nodon and was unsuccessful. Furthermore, we wouldn't be here without her, and she told us about Keenfire.
Andakai, the bringer of hope. I like that. I'll have to use that in my new piece.
True to his words, Rodario takes out his notebook and writes something down.
Have you heard of the firstlings?
Do you know anything about the firstlings? If I recall the map correctly, we need to cross the first large mountains in the Red Range and then pass through Snowdale to East Ironhald Stronghold.
No one has seen the firstlings for hundreds of cycles, but there are many stories about them. Their craftsmanship is much vaunted, and there used to be trade via a narrow path that led into the mountains. But I don't think there is a man living now who has ever walked that road.
Our mission is to forge the legendary axe Keenfire
Oh, yeah,
and
just
destroy
tell
the
everyone
traitor
about it.
Nodon. If you wish to accompany us through hunger, coldness, and danger, then do so. It's your decision.
Yep.
How
like
could
that.
we not partake in such a story? Just think what a wonderful
East?
play we could make of it.
If we survive.
I mean, I don't know where north
I was
is at
hoping
this
to
point.
only resurface once we reach the Red Range. Instead, we have a long journey and a dangerous climb ahead of us.
Oh, goody.
There may be another way apart from the old trading route. A few years ago, an old man from the north told me of a place called Wackenstein. Apparently, there is an old path there, older than the dwarven tunnels themselves.
Interesting.
Legends and stories. There's too much uncertainty. Let's just see what the next few days bring.
Alright. Well, we're gonna head up to this. There we go. So we have to go here. Well, the First Link Stronghold. Well, there's a path to the north that would be nice to take. I mean, there is a question mark up there, so let's head that way. Alright.
You are
Those are
walking
more
past an
orcs.
inconspicuous copse as Namora suddenly stops on the spot.
Wait! We are not alone. Someone is watching us.
Oh?
A trap?
Oh no. As it loads in. That's always a good sign. Now we get to do our trek of killing people and dying.
Die, scum!
Wait, what?
What are you doing? Why are you attacking us?
It's an elf.
We're dwarves too. We're on the same side.
Oh, I thought
I
it was an
see
elf.
honest dwarves here, but they are accompanied by scum. I will free you of it.
Oh, really? And what are you going to do on your own against 8?
You, come here.
What?
Wait, oh. She knows magic.
Brother, what are you doing?
Oh.
Boindle, what's wrong? Come to your senses.
It's no use. They belong to me. Now die,
Wait,
scum.
why are you killing me? Okay. Well, this makes this a little awkward. So I gotta use people I've never fought with before. Should be interesting. Okay. Wait, if I get up there, can I kill?
Yes.
No, go back to
Yes.
one. Let me.
Attack!
No, go here.
I'll be
Okay.
ready soon.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Find him!
I'm not that
I could
quick.
leave your axes
Look
over
at
here.
Okay.
Even I am not that quick.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to get. Oh, stop hitting me.
On my way.
Yes, soon.
I can't do that yet.
Alright, I need to get him down.
To the future.
Don't rush
I can't
me.
do that yet. Please
Yeah.
wait a moment.
I'm doing it as quick as I
I need
can.
help
alright?
over here. Quickly.
Okay, down.
I'm doing it as quick as I can, alright?
End
Just a minute.
Jesus.
I can't do that yet.
Limit over here.
Yes, you can.
Wait a moment.
Stop shooting me, lady.
I can't do that yet.
Oh my God.
doing
We
it.
hit-
Wait a moment.
You have the
I
power
can't
to
do that yet.
Yeah, there we go. Keep him away from me.
Give me a hand. Please wait a moment.
Please
I can't do that
load
yet.
that quickly. Oh, I'm dead.
Others will take
My
doing it as
place.
quick as I can, alright?
Give me a hand.
Already done it.
Okay. There we go. Oh, she's.
Yeah?
Can we
All
go?
right then.
Stop shooting me.
Why not?
Damn it.
I'm on it.
Yes, soon.
Okay.
Just a minute.
Now
What?
just her.
Yes,
Already
yes.
done it.
Soon. On my way.
Ooh, whoa, come on, come here.
I'm on it. Just a
Why
minute.
are you keep getting dizzy? There we go.
Yes. Soon.
Wait,
Just a
you
minute.
can't hit her or what?
What
What's
is
going
it?
on?
Why
Alright.
not?
Shoot.
Your
Namora.
death is called Geralda.
I don't
Okay, well,
On my way. Fine. Yes. Soon.
there we go.
Don't
Finally
want to
hit her.
die.
Gods. That took a bit. Like, just trying to hit that chick was like, impossible. Oh, good. I'm gonna have injuries, so I'm gonna have to run back and
No
forth a
sooner
bit.
does the unknown dwarf fall unconscious to the floor than her control over your comrades disappears. You fetter and gag her until you know more about her sinister powers.
Alright.
That was I hope I didn't hurt you, Scholar.
It was as if in a dream, but at the same time, it wasn't. I heard her voice in my head, and although I knew better, I only saw orcs attacking me. You were the enemy.
Boindil goes over to the shackled dwarf and kicks her gently with his boot.
This is never a child of the smith, even if she looks like one. Those gifts. By Vracus, there is something evil at work.
Maybe she's
You
a
kneel
thirdling.
in front of the dwarf and press your axe against her throat.
My name is Tungdil. If I remove your gag, will you answer some questions?
The captive nods, and you pull the gag out of her mouth.
Geralda is my name. It would seem I underestimated you.
No kidding. What are these
Your powers?
powers?
I've never heard of anything like it.
Neither have I. I haven't had them for long. When I try to remember, all I see is black mist, and I taste iron and mud, and there's an elf who...
Oh. Explains the white.
Did the Alpha give you these powers?
When I try to remember, it hurts. Like needles sticking into my head. I am Geralda Bloodstone. I was...
What do you mean by scum?
You said something about scum when you attacked us. Has Namora done anything to harm you?
Not her, but her kind. Alpha.
Oh, elves. Okay.
She is a human. She only acts at being an elf in theatre.
In the theatre?
For the first time, Geralda looks at Namora without a hateful expression.
She must die.
Alright, which kingdom are you?
Where have you come from and what brings you to Wayan?
I was on my way to the Free Folk. They are said to live in the middle of Girdlegard, without kingdoms or their laws.
The Free Folk? You mean dwarves?
Yes, dwarfs who have left their kingdoms, voluntarily or otherwise. Not everyone has a place in their kingdom.
You instinctively think of your own plight. You are not a secondling, and won't be welcome among the fourthlings since you placed obstacles in their king's path.
Ain't that the truth?
Don't believe this nonsense, Scholar. The free folk are just a fairy tale that people tell themselves when they don't want to stick to the traditions. Just look what good it's done Geralda.
Geralda prepares to reply, but then she holds back.
Oh?
Enough talk! She is dangerous, probably crazy. She attacked us, we should put an end to her.
It's what you call amnesia, memory loss, a tool often used in stage productions. We don't know what happened to her, and maybe she doesn't either. We can't just kill her.
I mean, I don't plan to kill her. We'll take her with us.
She's too dangerous just to let go, so we'll take her with us. Remove the fetters.
You nip any objection in the bud and turn to Geralda.
Listen, I don't know what has happened to you, but we are dwarves and we shouldn't fight against one another. We could do with your help.
There we
The
go.
female dwarf seems just as surprised by your decision as your companions.
Thank you.
Sure.
I would be happy to accompany you. I am Geralda Bloodstone, of the Fourthling Kingdom. I'm sorry that I attacked you. It was
She's a fourthling.
misunderstanding.
Okay.
You realize that your decision doesn't please everyone. Boindil and Namora seem particularly upset.
No, that's their
but
problem.
they hold back, and you continue on your way, a slightly gloomy mood hanging over the group.
Alright, nice level up. There we go. Sympathetic. Alright. Bloody Scissors. Boindil decapitates enemies with less than 50% health. Yeah, I like that. Continue. What do we got? For me, Battle Rush Tungdeal gains twice the AP when he kills enemies. Tungdeal and nearby heroes deal 25% damage for sure. Let's go with that. Wait, okay. Let's go with enemies in a straight line in front of ignites the brew from his water, a skin, and can set enemies on fire in a half a circle in front of him. That'd actually be really useful. Alright, we got a statue of some sort, so not quest log, I need to see party. So we've got 13 injuries. How do I unclick you? Okay, well, I don't know how to, but alright. We've got a lot of injuries, so we need to...
You spend the night protected from the wind in a ruin, and are sitting around a campfire as the topic of your new companion's performance on the stage comes up.
Sleight of hand, speed, alchemy, and makeup can have an incredible effect. Nomura transformed herself into an elf using the latter.
I also noticed your weapons, Nomura. I've never seen such swords before.
Their names are Crescent and Sunbeam. I designed them myself. It took a long time until I found a smith who was able to make them.
Oh. She looks like a pointy ear too. Nature hasn't been kind to her.
For this absent-minded remark, Boindil receives evil looks from Nomura and grins from the men.
Ooh.
Perhaps I really am an elf and will bring you a nightmare in your sleep tonight. Don't be surprised if you wake up screaming.
For a moment, it seems as though she has merged with the darkness, but when you blink, everything is back to normal.
By the gods, isn't she magnificent in her role?
There is no denying what Rodario says.
Yep. Alright, so let me see something. There's a way to do it. I guess I have to wait to choose, but we still got... I've got 12 injuries, 2, 5... Okay, so these guys have 0. But still... If we can, I'd like to take a few extra.
When you enter the pretty little village with its richly ornate houses and its temple to Palandial at its center, you can see an angry mob some distance away. The villagers are hassling a young woman, insulting her and pushing her to the ground.
Oh god. Force your way between them.
You push your way through the crowd of people and stand in the way of the villagers.
What's going on here?
A man dressed in richly decorated vestments looks you up and down.
Palandial be with you, dwarf. It is none of your business, but this woman here is a thief. She and her henchmen have emptied the monastery's granary and were willing to abandon us to our fate.
That's a lie. We asked for help and these people turned us away. I came back to ask again.
What proof do you have that the woman committed the crime?
What evidence do you have against this woman?
We found the granary broken into. Almost a third of our grain and a significant amount of supplies have gone. And all this just one day after she and her people were snooping around here.
That isn't proof.
That isn't proof. It could simply be coincidence. Anyway, why would a thief come back to the scene of a crime?
The priest eyes you in silence, while some of the villagers make it clear that dwarves should keep their noses out of their business.
Oh. Alright, tell us what happened.
Tell us what happened.
The villagers grumble, but the priest gives the woman a chance to defend herself.
My name is Tavia. I was forced to flee Tabayin with my family when the perished land began to spread. My husband, we had to leave him behind.
The horror in the woman's eyes gives you a good idea as to what became of her husband.
No, poor lady.
No one accepted us in the north. There are too many refugees and everyone is scared. Queen Wei has offered land in Wayan to anyone who will work hard for it. But what should we grow if no one will sell us grain? We offered a fair price, but Father Malin...
She darts a scathing gaze at the priest.
He wanted double the amount.
Jesus.
The priest glances briefly at the angry villagers. Then he replies in a firm voice.
It was a hard winter. And with the increasing frequency of orc attacks, we must think of ourselves first and foremost. Even we cannot help everyone.
The bystanders mutter in agreement.
Do you do what you have to do? We have more important. We can investigate.
The accusations are serious, so let's get to the bottom of the matter to be completely sure.
We have no doubt that she did it.
The priest looks at the villagers standing around him, the lust for blood written in their faces.
On the other hand, before we do something we can't undo...
Dissatisfied murmuring grows, which the priest debates with mollifying gestures.
Search for your evidence. You there, lock this woman up in the guardhouse in the meantime.
The woman is taken into a squat building made of rough blocks of stone. The crowd slowly disbands.
Alright. I suppose. Yeah, I can't save here. Enter
You
the
enter
storehouse.
the village's large storehouse. The ground floor of the two-story building is full of turnips, with large barrels and clay pots on the floor and on high shelves.
Okay.
Several villagers are carrying out stock-taking. They're being supervised by a weedy man who observes them with a grim expression and writes things on a wax tablet every now and then. Work is in full swing. The man with the wax tablet grumbles now and then in agreement when one of the peasants shouts out a number to him. It shouldn't take too much longer until they finish the inventory.
Okay. Go up to the first
There are
floor.
sacks piled up on top of one another on the first floor. They are most likely filled with different kinds of grain and, judging by the omnipresent white dust, flour.
Okay. Inspect the empty corner in the dim
You
light.
walk towards the only area in the storeroom where you can see the floorboards. You hesitate as your boots slip on the floor, as if you're walking on mud.
Huh.
Tungdil?
The Magister Technicus carefully observes the roof beams above the empty corner. He grabs at a beam and crumbles something between his fingers. You can't make out what it is, so you copy him and feel damp, rotten wood. It's very easy to pull away small pieces.
What are you doing here?
The man with the wax tablet is standing on the stairs. He sounds half angry, half shocked.
No one is allowed in here.
On here, why are you here?
Who are you? What are you doing here if no one is allowed to be here?
I'm allowed to be here. It's my job. I'm the steward of the temple. Morris is my name.
Do you realize that the roof
The
is
rain has
leaky?
gotten here. The roof and the floor are damp.
Those savages. It wasn't enough that they steal from us. They had to damage the roof too. That was probably where they got in.
Huh.
The wood didn't start to rot yesterday, good man.
Yeah.
The steward's face turns bright red.
And you are the experts on such things, are you?
Assuming the roof here has been leaky for a long time, what would have happened to the grain in the sacks directly underneath? Wouldn't it have turned rotten?
The man wets his lips. His gaze darts around the room.
The roof was fine. I'll have it repaired. And now, get out of here.
The steward angrily blocks off all further attempts at talking to him, and even when you threaten him with Father Malin, it doesn't have the desired effect. The father trusts in him, he says, and he's always been a devout follower. The heavy door of the storehouse closes behind you, and you hear a bolt sliding into place from the inside. The priest is lost
See
in
what the priest
thought,
says.
standing in front of the temple, as if he couldn't decide whether to go in or not.
What can you tell me about
I
Seaton?
was wondering, what was here first, the temple or the village?
Ah, a keen eye. The temple is indeed much too big for such a small village. It was built on the foundations of an old stronghold when salt was found nearby. The village has grown over the years in the shadow of the temple.
Makes sense.
Good people live here, honest and pious children of Pelandil.
He glances at the place where the woman was surrounded.
Why can't we just be left in peace?
How important to use a stolen
Supposing
grain?
Tavia really did steal the grain and supplies, but only to save her family, would you turn a blind eye?
Pelandil teaches generosity, but that too must have its boundaries. We cannot help everyone. At some point there won't be enough for us.
Makes sense.
So, if you had sold the grain, the people of Seaton would have starved?
Maybe not. Not yet. But if we always give everything we have away...
No one is saying always, and no one is saying everything.
The priest shrugs his shoulders apologetically. He doesn't wish to spoil things with his flock.
The roof of the granary is leaky. We saw some rotten wooden planks.
Again? Morris only had the roof repaired last summer.
Interesting.
Did he? If he didn't, some of the grain would have got damp and rotten.
Out of the question. Morris would have reported that. He checks the grain once a month, and there were no complaints.
The priest has absolutely no doubt in what he is saying, often a sign that someone hasn't thought things over.
So
You
it
nod goodbye,
basically went
and the
bad,
priest
and
returns the
Stuart threw it
gesture.
out so he wouldn't have to get in trouble. All right,
You enter
into
the guardhouse. And before the guards know, Boindeel and Boandal have caught them up in a friendly conversation. Shielded from the view of the guards, you exchange a few words with the suspect without being disturbed.
Where are your people?
Where have you taken the grain and supplies?
I don't know anything about grain or supplies. Apart from the fact that we could do with both, I'm telling you, I am innocent.
That I don't doubt.
Why did you come back to the village?
I wanted to negotiate with Father Malin for the grain. What else could I do? No sooner had I arrived than they surrounded me and accused me of robbery.
Okay. Tell us what
we
happened.
won't let anyone do anything to you, but if we are going to help you, you will have to tell us the truth.
The woman looks you in the face, then her head sinks, and when she looks back up, she has tears in her eyes.
Please, I just want to go back to my family. I don't know what happened.
Tungdil.
You feel sympathy towards the woman. You raise your hand to silence Rodario and nod to the woman to continue talking.
We asked for grain and were full of hope when we saw the well-filled granary. But we hadn't reckoned on the malice of the people here.
A slow, ironic clap sounds from behind you. Confused, you turn around to face Rodario.
Bravo, my dear, with tears and everything.
Is she working with the
Tough
steward?
luck that a master of the art of acting is present. None of what she said corresponds with the truth, Tungdil. She is lying and trying to deceive us. Not completely talentless for an amateur.
You expect the woman to deny everything, but when she overcomes her amazement, she spits in the actor's face.
And what if I am? I would do it all again. The people here have more than they need and my people are starving. Is that fair?
So you did steal it. So where have you people taken the grain supplies?
Spit it out. Where are the spoils and your people?
I'd rather die than tell you that.
The woman looks at you determinedly, and neither of you blink.
Why did you come back here after stealing the grain and supplies?
We didn't steal 'em. We paid for 'em. A reasonable price, just not to Father Malin.
You had help.
He promised us 3 dozen sacks of grain. When we opened the sacks in our hideout, we realised that most of the grain was rotten. He thought we'd get away with it.
The woman looks around wearily.
And by the looks of things, he has.
Alright. I think I know
Morris
your
the steward
accomplice
offered you the grain, didn't he?
What does that matter? I've no proof it was him. And even if I did, if I admit that we have the stuff, I'll be hanging from a tree by this evening and my children will starve.
Makes sense.
I beg you, let me go. We bought the grain and the supplies. Perhaps he wasn't allowed to sell it to us. But we paid. And with a little seed we can sow, at least some of us have a chance of surviving the year.
Easier if you hadn't lied to us. If you turn the grandfather around, might show clemency. I don't think you should be locked up. I'm letting you go.
I don't want you to be hanged just because you tried to support your family. Go.
You open the door. The guards jump up, take up their swords, and let their hands sink down again when they feel the axes of the dwarves against their throats. The woman lays a hand on your shoulder for a moment as a sign of gratitude before she runs from the guardhouse.
I hope you know what you're doing, scholar.
Rodario's furrowed brow does not give you the feeling you've made an undisputed decision.
Follow them in secret, find out where they go.
Namora, find out where she's heading and then rejoin us.
Fergus wants to raise an objection, but before he can think of the right words, Namora has kissed him on the mouth and has disappeared round the next corner.
Oh, man.
You leave the guardhouse and explain your plan to Father Malin. You expect him to object, but he seems to be satisfied. You assume he'll make you responsible for everything if something goes wrong, and will claim a piece for himself if you are successful.
Alright. Well, I don't see any question mark.
Like every night in the wilderness, you set up camp and assign the watch. Bavragor takes first watch this evening, while the rest of you sit by a small fire, toasting some bread. You're not particularly surprised that neither Bavragor nor any of the others notice the guest who suddenly appears out of the darkness next to you.
Namora!
Fergus jumps up and moments later has embraced her tightly.
Were you able to find out anything?
She didn't detect me and led me straight to the hideout. I can show you. It's a cave some miles off from the path. Almost 4 dozen people, men, women and children.
You nod. You have tracked down Tavia's hideout.
Alright. We would normally go there. I'm just gonna go here. Alright, we're gonna go back to town.
You enter Seaton and take a look round.
Talk
the
to him.
priest is lost in thoughts, standing in front of the temple, as if he couldn't decide whether to go in or not.
Okay. We have found the thieves'
We have found
hideout.
the thieves' hideout.
Really? That's welcome news.
With an encouraging nod, the priest of Palandial prompts you to continue.
No, so far, we took care of the thieves. No one escaped. People there.
We spoke to the people there.
Yeah.
It was very revealing.
And?
The priest gives you the same look he otherwise uses to reprimand the villagers' minor sins.
They say they paid Morris to sell supplies and grain to them.
The priest wants to object.
He ripped them off. That would be an explanation as to why Tavia came back this morning, don't you think?
The cogs are turning inside the priest's head.
Uh-oh.
His expression reveals that he doesn't like his own conclusions.
And what about the grain and the supplies?
We've given them, the supplies were hidden, the grain useless.
The supplies and the grain, you won't see any of it again. We were too late.
The priest eyes you in silence, and you look back without batting an eyelid.
I am not sure whether you have earned a reward, Mr. Dwarf.
The priest brings out a small pouch. He counts a few coins into your hand.
Alright, well, that's nice of him.
The group isn't overly friendly towards Geralda, and this evening she's sitting once again apart from the others. You ask yourself what you can do to break the ice when you see that she has a file in her hand. The file is wrapped around with silver wire and has a snap lock. The liquid in it is black. Geralda opens the lid and takes a big swig. As she puts down the bottle, a smile flits across her face, followed by a short expression of deep satisfaction. It is the first time that you have seen a positive emotion on the face of the somber dwarf.
What's in the bottle of medicine?
Is that medicine?
No, it's... I don't know either. If I don't drink it, I have a longing for it. It gets stronger and stronger until I can't stand it anymore.
Okay.
When I drink it, the longing disappears, and I feel rested and strong.
And when the file's empty?
I don't know. I don't know where I got the drink from, let alone what it is. But if I don't drink it, Frackers, give me strength. I think I would go crazy or die.
Geralda plays with the file, lost in her thoughts, as if she were trying to remember where she saw it for the first time.
Alright, I assumed, yeah, that's a thieves' hideout. We could head there. I don't see a problem with it
A
personally.
2-story tavern sits on the corner of a crossroads.
We can
The
always come
snow
back.
around the building has been cleared away, and a warm light is coming from inside. The sign above the door reads, Minstrel Castle.
Minstrel Castle?
Oh no.
That sounds promising.
Okay.
Finally! Time for ale! My throat is completely parched.
Oh no.
As much as I hate agreeing with you, I too can hardly wait.
You enter the tavern with Bavragor and Boindil in front. On first impression, the interior is as inconspicuous as the outside. But when you take a closer look, you spot a couple of paintings of minstrels in front of a castle, a small stage that, judging by the dust, is only very rarely used, and a lute hanging on the wall behind the bar.
Okay.
There are not very many guests on the ground floor, perhaps a dozen, and most of them belong to a group of mercenaries who have retreated into the far corner. You sit at a table, and after a while you are brought the ale that Boindil has ordered.
Let's go
You go to the
talk
bar
to the
where the
landlady.
landlady is working and sit on a stool. The landlady, a stout, middle-aged woman with long hair tied in a ponytail, looks up briefly but says nothing.
Let's see. Show me what you have on offer. We'll sell that again. I don't need those rings. I don't need that. Rations are always useful. Increase the damage of auto attacks by 100%. My god, 850 though. Definitely take all the rations we can get. I'm just gonna call it good at that.
Say,
That's a
why
pretty
is the
name.
tavern called Minstrel Castle? It doesn't look much like a castle.
Oh, you don't know the legend, dwarf.
One of the guests next to you at the bar takes up your question.
There was a castle here once. No one knows its name anymore, so everyone just calls it Minstrel Castle. Once upon a time, a king lived in that castle. He had many subjects and an enchanting queen. But one day a young minstrel came along and sang of wonderful far-off lands.
Oh no.
And the subjects began to complain about their own lives.
Oh no.
So the king sent for the singer to hear for himself. He came and sang a wonderful love song, and the king began to be scared. He thought that the minstrel wanted to steal away his queen. Without flinching, he drew his sword and struck the boy down.
Great,
His father heard of this. He was himself a singer. And so he went to the king and played a terrible song, a curse. The king was to vanish in silence, and no one was to remember his name.
And that's what happened. No one remembers the name of the king or his castle. Make of it what you will. The story's certainly well known enough in the area to give Arin its name.
That works. Alright. I have to go
You
back to the
nod
others.
at the landlady as you slip off the bar stool, and she nods back.
Alright, leaving.
Bavragor and Boindil, who are absorbed in a drinking competition, have to be practically dragged out of the tavern. But in the end, you are able to continue your journey.
We got more food, so that's what matters.
You arrive at an empty jetty on Lake Anteria.
Oh god.
You can see several fishing boats on the lake, and there's a small village on the other shore.
Ah, Polbrook. What an idyllic little place. And then there's the miller's daughter.
Oh god, no. Nope, nope, nope. Call the fisherman over.
Hey there! Would you be able to ferry us over to the other side?
At first, you think the fisherman hasn't heard you, but then he turns around and heads towards the shore. When the boat has almost reached you, the fisherman calls back.
Dwarves, are you lost? Oh well, whatever. I am Samuel. If you wish to cross, it'll cost you. Food for 10 days or 20 gold, whichever you prefer.
Oh, 20 gold.
You give Samuel the gold,
That
and
helps, yep.
after a long discussion
now we
with the
go to the
dwarves in the
cave.
group, you follow him onto the boat. The dwarves literally leap out of the boat as soon
Don't
as
like
you
water.
reach dry land.
That's fair.
We could have died. I hope it was worthwhile, Scholar.
As on the previous evening, Bavragor sits apart from the others. But tonight, he waves you over.
Smeralda, my sister. You want to know what happened, right?
You nod and sit down.
She followed Boindle into battle. We tried to talk her out of it, but she was as unyielding as a mountain. Then came the day when the High Pass was attacked.
Bavragor drinks from his liquor.
He killed her. Blinded by the frenzy of battle, he thought she was one of the enemy. I can never forgive him. He killed my sister. Could you?
You inevitably remember the loss of Lot Yonan, Frala, and her children. You remain sitting in silence, each of you deep in thought. Boendal approaches, having either heard you or guessing what you were talking about.
His fierce life forge is a curse. He thought the orcs had robbed him of his love, and the ire came over him. Sometimes he calls her name in his dreams. Oh, he'd never admit it, but he suffers just like Bavragor. He too loved her.
The stonemason doesn't react, so you and Boendal go back to the others by the fire.
Oh gods, okay. So there's some interesting guilt to deal with later. Alright, let's go talk to these thieves.
You can make out a cave in the bank of a dried-out riverbed,
no more injuries
with
on them.
several small fires burning in it. You don't see any guards, so you approach carefully. Men and women jump as they notice you. There is terror written in their emaciated faces.
Aww.
When a little girl screams and runs away from you, the whole camp is alerted, and a group of men and women step out of the cave.
Is that them? Your benefactors?
Tavia, who came out of the cave next to the man, nods.
You've led them straight here.
Well.
Who are you?
The man resembles Tavia. His face, too, tells of a struggle between defiant determination and fatigue and resignation.
I am Gerald, Tavia's brother. I led these people here from Tabayin.
You look around you. You guess there are about 10 families, less than 50 people. Half of them are children and youths.
Tavia couldn't have known that someone followed her.
Your sister couldn't have known that she was being followed. Namora has quite a talent for not being seen.
Yep.
She shouldn't even have gone to Seaton in the first place. I knew that nothing good would come of it.
Well, of her own initiative, I don't care.
Tabayin is a fertile country in the north, but much more importantly these days, it borders the Perish land to the east.
How are things in Tabayin?
Gerald's expression changes. It's as if he's looking through you.
The Perished land is raging. It poisons the spirit, and those who become possessed by it.
Gerald looks at his hands, which he involuntarily forms into claws.
They no longer recognize you. Brothers, mothers, children. My brother-in-law. I had to...
With visible effort, he wrenches himself free of his terrible memories.
We can only hope that the Magi manage to build a new barrier soon.
We got a problem
You
with
cannot
that.
bring yourself to quash the last hope he has.
Yeah.
Tavia went to Seaton on her own initiative.
Our gold was gone and our supplies were dwindling, despite being on half rations. I said we should just take what we need if no one is going to help us, but my sister wouldn't have anything to do with it.
Makes sense.
She took the wedding jewelry from our village, the most valuable thing we had with us, and sold it without my knowing. She then took this money and went to Seaton with several men. I was completely beside myself when I heard about it, but then they came back with food and grain, and I thought they had really done it.
He laughs cheerlessly and shakes his head.
For a few minutes we thought we were saved.
Alright. I'm here to retreat. Nope. Yeah.
What's wrong with the
I
grain
mean,
from
I know what's
Seaton?
wrong
Thought
with
we all
it.
got to... It was clear...
The supply.
Gerald glances at your companions.
Alright. Keep the grain and the supplies. You need
You're
them.
in greater need of the grain.
Gerald stares at you. Only after a few...
How could we ever justify letting people on the run die
Yeah.
if we have enough to share our...
You see tired but happy faces.
We don't have much.
So long, my...
Alright, yeah. Do the right thing here. No more injuries, finally. It was well worth it. Alright. Just gonna get up here. Oop, there we go. Alright, and since this is the last one before we hit the main thing, I'm gonna save here. And I'd like to thank you all for watching. For those who've enjoyed, if you enjoy the series, feel free to give it a like, subscribe, whatever. And if you're watching on Twitch, feel free to send up bits and stuff like that. Thank you all so much, and I hope you have enjoyed.